Holland, and I'm back for one of our daily 5 exercise sequences as part of our 7-day challenge. Today I'm going to be focusing on planking. Great thing to do for bone building, so good, and weight resistance, using your body as a force and a tool for resistance. I'm going to show you some different ways to do that, starting with a wall plank. Love wall planks. They're great for people who have shoulder issues. They can always feel like they can make some adjustment here. People who have balance challenges, they're wonderful for my seniors. As before, I want you to have a non-skid surface. I've got my tennis shoes on because that feels really great to me. Okay, a couple things we want to notice as you come into a wall push-up. You want to make sure that you're not winging in your shoulders. You also have to do what I call commit the hips, so that you're not letting the hips stay back in here and coming in with your upper body, because that just means your abs are asleep. So I'm going to start with my hands a little wider than my shoulders, with my fingers pressing in. This is a little bit more like a military push-up. That feels good for me because it helps me kind of feel like I'm broadening in my scapula and sort of setting that in there nicely. So I'm going to take my fingers here. I'm going to step back about a foot from the wall. And I want to think of this as a plank. So as I'm starting to bend my elbows, I'm going to come into the wall, committing my hips, and then I get to the place where I can feel like my shoulders are winging. That's my sign that that's about as far as I can go with control. And I'm pressing into the hands, straightening the arms, come back. But just as much, I've got to really work the abs to draw in. Right now, you could come a little closer if you are a little bit more challenged here. Totally fine. As you start to get stronger, you could be back in here. That makes you really have to think about getting that whole body to fire. I also have people work on a little bit of balance work here. And counting. So counting as you have to do this is very good cognitively for the brain, which is helpful as we age. So as often as possible, I try to incorporate that. Like I might ask my seniors to do this and count up to 8. So I'll just show you what that looks like, right? So you could go parallel. You could do it more as a pure tricep press, coming in here. Now press back, and then I got to find myself balanced, holding in space, and I clap. And I'll progress that, so I have to think about, okay, which one came before it? I'm balanced, now it's 2. Hips commit, try to not wing in my shoulders. I'm just gonna do it up to 5, but I think 8 is generally a really good number. And you can see even there, you're getting some nice stimulation for your wrists. So wall push-ups. Great addition for our bone building. Now I'm going to come down onto the floor. I'm going to use one of these Pilates reformer boxes. Many people don't like having their wrist pressing down, so this is a way to do it sort of as a forearm plank. You're meant to fit yourself, right? So if you walk your hands right over across there and just hug your forearms like that, you know just how wide your shoulders should be. I really like this because it helps me establish what I call a Japanese bridge. And in our teacher training program that we do at my studio, we talk about a Japanese bridge because architecturally they're rounded at the top because that's safe for earthquakes. Well, it's similar for shoulder stability when you come into a planking position. Women in particular, because we're busty and we have weight kind of coming down, have a much more challenging time in push-ups not collapsing. So you want to try to think like you're building up your back body. So I'm going to start myself in here. I want to make sure that I'm not white knuckling this. I'm pressing into my forearms. I'm distributing the weight. And then as I start to step one foot back and then the other, I want my hips to be low, but I'm trying to inflate the upper body, and pressing into your forearms here really helps achieve that. I should probably keep my neck a little bit longer. So I'm bringing my hips down, pulling my abs in, but I'm reinforcing the stability of my upper back. And frankly, this is so comfortable. You could stay here for a while. I mean, I think this is just a fantastic plank. See if you can build, start with 5 seconds, go to 8 to 10. But you'll be amazed as you wrap your abs here, how supportive this actually feels in your body. Okay, so say your wrists are okay, or you're getting better. You could use blocks. Now, we bring the floor up to us. I like the way this really feels as if I'm bringing the floor up and creating a nice alignment with the rest of my body. So I'm going to use them upright here. My hands are kind of just reaching around. I'm going to take one foot back, then the other. Same idea here. I want to distribute that so that elbows are over my wrist. I'm rounding across the upper back, but committing my hips down where my abs and my glutes are having this really great challenge to see if they can hold me up. Now, if I wanted to just come down on my wrist, I make that same idea here, that same adjustment. I don't want to lock my elbows, but I do want to feel that I'm firming those arm bones. So imagine that you are plugging your arms into your shoulder blades where they should be. And I've done a lot of this from my years of Pilates and yoga, so I can feel stronger and stronger in this. But it's always a challenge to do a plank, which is why it's so good for bone building. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you next time.